So, hello again. Today is pretty much going to be the same as obviously what we did to the front. Move the front fenders. Today it's going to be going to be removing the rear ones. It's pretty much going to be the same process. Pretty much the same line of bolts going all the way through the inside of the rim. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, so obviously I'll only show you doing one of the wheels. First off, you've got to get the hubcap off. I probably should have shown it in the previous video. Normally you can get a tool that gets behind it and pulls it out. I've got a knife that I forged God knows how long ago with a point on it. So literally, just get behind it and it should. There you go. Obviously, having the proper tool doesn't chip the paint, but I'm going to be repainting these, so it's not something to be bothered about. Obviously, once you've taken the hubcap off, it's like literally any other car. I've got 4 bolts here, and I'll get round to taking those off. Obviously, most people would use a wrench or a socket. Thankfully, I've got power tools, so hopefully 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, nice and simple. And there we go. Wheel off. Put that over to the side. Obviously gives us more access to access pretty much all the bolts around the inner rim. So, first thing I'm going to do is have the bolts going all the way along the inside of the rim. First thing I'm going to do, obviously they have a coating which was meant to protect against rust, but obviously it's that old that it's not worked very well. I'm going to now use the wire brush to scrub as much of the gunk off as possible to obviously reveal the bolts. So something I bought the other day which should be a bit more of a help than using obviously hand wire brushes is wire brush tips to obviously go on the end of the drill. Just had a little go and they do seem to be working fairly well. Obviously once I've scrubbed them all down, I will get back to you. Okay, so the attempt was there. Obviously I've ground a bit too much away. It's cleaned up the bolts kind of nicely, to be honest. But where is it? At least now, with the majority of the gunk off, I should be able to put some WD-40, loosen them off a bit, and then hopefully from that point get a wrench on and take them off, and then hopefully this should then pop off. I do also need to remove the tail lights, which shouldn't be too difficult. You've literally got 2 bolts, cap pops off, and then hopefully I should just be able to disconnect the wires and pull them through, and should be good from that point on. So, as I've been attempting to undo the bolts, as you can see, I've managed to punch a hole through and done a bit of grinding because, where is it? The casing that was obviously enclosing that bolt previously had been welded by the previous owner, I'm going to guess. And every time I was spinning it from the other side in the wheel arch, the bolt was just freely spinning in that casing. So I've had to hammer and remove the casing out, and I've finally managed to remove that bolt, which means I've already loosened off those 2. So they're all good, and there's another one further back. The one that's meant to be down there isn't on there, same for the other side. But thankfully, if I grab my torch, all the others look okay. So what I'm hoping is that once I've removed the light, the panel should come off. So, tail light. Hopefully this is going to be fairly simple. Literally got one Phillips head bolt screw here and one at the bottom. Obviously loosened off the bolts so it's moves a little bit, but I've left them in just to now remove the tail light. So So hopefully there is one bolt. Oh, that's crunchy. There is the second bolt. Oh my god, there's just bits of it falling apart. Well, that's going to be a new casing. There's the casing. As we can see, some bits of it there have sadly chipped off. Oh, great. Got the taillight gasket, and I'm hoping I can take a quick picture of this to know where the wires go, unplug the wires, feed them back through to the inner part of the fender, and then I will undo the bolts, and then this thing should pop right off, and then it will be doing the exact same thing to the other side, which hopefully should be a little bit easier. So, as we can see there and there, they were bolts. Both of them have just sheared themselves. At least it will be able to be popped off, but I will have to somehow remove them and get some new bolts. So hopefully, after undoing all the bolts, well, it's just this one left. This thing should come off. Oh, there's the bolt. Oh. And there we go. As we can see, finally managed to get it off. That is the rubber gasket that goes in between that and the body itself. I'll also put that over there. So, after much pain and grinding away on the one of the bolts, finally managed to take it off. It's in pretty good nick, to be fair. Apart from just general surface rust, this is pretty savable. Let's turn around. Apart from probably down in that corner just there, but even then, that can just be welded, grinded. I can rebuild that little corner there. Not too bad. Now I'm going to get to work on the other side, and from what I've seen from the bolts, the other side is a little bit better, and hopefully it won't need any grinding or pain. So sadly, obviously I've got right inside wing here, the tail light on the other one. The two bolts actually holding it onto the wing itself have both sheared. So I don't really know what I'm going to do with that. Might have to possibly drill them out. Maybe get a kit to possibly remove the bolts. Like I said though, I'm now going to move on to this wing, hoping I'll have a bit more luck with this tail light, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, same thing as the other side. There we go. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. If I don't lose them. Obviously, sadly, with the way that this car is parked in my garage, I've not got much room, but there you go. So, wheel over there. Oh. Obviously with most things what I've been doing is wherever I've taken bolts out, any bolts and nuts, I've just been screwing them back to exactly where they are meant to be, rather than leaving them on the table or trying to create a sorting system. They're just there exactly where they need to be, obviously. So I'm now going to get to work. Okay, same as before, got to get the tail light off, which again, top and bottom, is thankfully just 2 screws. There's one. Yeah. Hopefully this time, oh, I already hear it cracking. That's lovely. Hopefully this time the 2 bolts that hold it in place don't shear, same as last time. Oh. Okay, so it's going very well. I've removed the bulb, and as we can see here, that was where a screw was. Wasn't coming out, so I've had to drill that out, and we have the other screw just here that has sheared as well, but means that that can come off and I can then feed the wires back through. Okie dokie, this has now been taken off. This will now go and be placed with the other one, and the wires are now off. So it's now attempting to unbolt and take this bad boy off. So I've come across some trouble with undoing the bolts. This one, which, like most bolts on this bloody thing, just keeps turning. Doesn't come out. Which means the bolt on the other side isn't being held in place and is just constantly spinning over and over again. I can't access the bolt on the other side due to the fact of multiple structural beams. So it's either trying to cram a flathead in to grab hold of the threads, and then, oh no, even that wouldn't work. Well, I'm probably just going to have to grind that bad boy off then, but I'll get back to you on it. So after a lot of pain, I've managed to drill the bolt out itself, which I have not a clue on how to possibly remove that. And I've put the other bolts back in, and it is now off. So after having a thrilling time, obviously having to drill and do some grinding, managed to take both of the wings off. So yes, I don't know. I can't really think of what I'll be doing in the next video, but I'll get round to it. So goodbye.